record, and we're going well. Okay, cool. Well, thanks again. I do appreciate everything. I know we're kind of making it happen here, but I appreciate your time and stuff. How was vacation?
It was amazing. It made me more envious of you living in California all the time.
Where did
Just
you go?
incredible. I went to actually Topanga, um, in between Topanga and Malibu, right where all the great running trails are.
Oh,
It
no
was
way.
just awesome.
Me and Nick and I actually were there yesterday. Nick Conadera,
Oh
our
no, I
other
lost your audio.
uh, our quantum leap
Quantum leap.
There
friend.
you are.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Perfect. Yeah, we were actually there yesterday. We were walking some trails, so that's funny.
Walking.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it's a ton of
Yeah,
it's a ton of great weather over here.
weather over here.
Um,
Really?
so I want to jump in
I want to
and
jump in and
can you hear me? I'm getting some feedback
Yes.
over there.
I've been back over there.
Okay, cool, perfect. And I just want to introduce you really quickly. Megan is actually a personal friend of mine that is through one of our mutual Cutco friends, Hal Elrod, and we're in a mastermind with him. But Megan, I actually got turned on to you originally when I read your book earlier this year, actually at the beginning of the year, and I was really, really excited to get a chance to meet you in person, and excited to kind of pick your brain. So this is definitely very selfish of me too, but I think there's a ton of people who are going to get some value, and we'll blast this out to our to all of our audience, and I think they'll get a ton of value. But Megan, actually, you went to school at Harvard, is that correct?
Good.
Went to school at Harvard and then graduated and got right into like the corporate world and jumped into consulting for quite a few years. And from my understanding, kind of did that run a little bit, but then started seeking some more fulfillment, if that's kind of a better way to put it, and kind of changed gears a little bit and ended up in the health field. And you've been a health coach and kind of, I don't know if nutritionist is the right word, but that's kind of been your focus, and recently just published. Is it your first book? I would think. But actually, just became an author as well. So, can you give us a little bit about like your background and why like health and even helping people became like a big passion of yours?
Yeah, of course, of course. So I also went to business school throughout that, and through business school and through all the books I was reading and through all of this, people are saying, follow your passion, follow your passion. And I was one of those people who just said, I don't have a passion. I do my job pretty well. Paycheck is coming in, it's okay. But no, I'm not passionate about architecture or about art or anything like that. I thought I didn't have a passion. And then after some soul searching, I was thinking, well, come on, Megan, what do you do all day? You're always going to conferences on nutrition. You're reading about nutrition. You are Googling different nutrition topics. You're talking to your friends about nutrition. Duh, this is your passion. And sometimes it just really takes something so simple. It probably took me 2 years to realize that that was actually my passion. So, for any of your audience who thinks, oh, I'm just fine doing what I'm doing, but it's not my passion, really look at what you spend your time doing. What, if you had an hour just to Google random topics, what would it be? So, anyway, that was nutrition for me. And because I was always helping friends, colleagues, things like this, I thought, why not turn it into a business and actually do full time what I'm doing anyway, part time. And that was January of 2014. And I've been just loving every single day since then.
That's really cool. And your practice is out in Austin, Texas, right? In Dallas.
Dallas,
It's in
yeah.
Dallas. That's right. It's in Dallas. So
This
that's
less cool city.
and so I think we share some kind of similar ideas, but can you speak a little bit about why you think health and specifically nutrition, why that plays such a bigger role in people's greater happiness? And, specifically people might be looking for success or income, but I think, we're all looking for a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness. Can you speak to how health kind of plays a role in all that happiness?
course, of course. So, health is something that, for better or for worse, has become a little bit of I'm doing it better than you. And so there are plenty of things out there that you can see that, oh, you're not healthy unless you're eating a pure kale smoothie. Oh, well, you're eating a kale smoothie? Well, your kale isn't steamed, so it's not good enough. Whatever. You can steamroll, and it can really become something that's a never ending cycle. But that's not the way I see health at all. It is not to be better than someone else or to one up your friend or your colleague. It's really just to feel your most energetic and vibrant self. And that's something that I have been on either side of. I've been places where I wasn't feeling my most awesome, and right now I feel really incredible every single day. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that they don't actually feel great where they are right now. Because if you're doing the same thing every day, if you're eating processed or fine foods, whatever you can get your hands on, that's just kind of how you've always felt. You don't feel any different. But I guarantee you, if you have not explored what really makes you feel good, there's a whole world of possibilities out there. I know for me, I see clients back to back probably 10-ish hours a day, and then obviously do my work afterwards, like all of your audience does as well. And I would not be able to do this if I didn't have the energy to keep going through the day. It's not just about looking in the mirror and liking what I see, although that's important too. It's really just about feeling like you have energy and you have vibrance so you can go throughout the day and do your best work.
So what if someone isn't really paying attention to their nutrition, or they haven't really thought about it, or they say, I'm fine, I'm not fat. What are some symptoms you find are things that people kind of overlook, maybe in their energy levels, or I don't know, maybe you have some better experience, but what are some things that may be happening to people that would be signs of someone who could probably do better and pay more attention with their nutrition?
Yeah, three major signs, and I have been prey to all of them, or I have fallen prey to all of them. First one is feeling like you can't get the day started without coffee. And now I have no problem with coffee in moderation if that works for your body. So not say, yeah, there you go. But
I'm guilty.
I don't think that, yeah, you're guilty, but it's okay. Well, you decide if you're okay or not based on what I say. Cup of coffee is okay. 2 cups of coffee is okay. But feeling like you literally can't start the day without coffee, there's probably something you need to improve about your nutrition. Because caffeine is a drug, right? It's a non-lethal in most cases drug, but it is a drug. And if you're very reliant on that, then something's not optimized in your nutrition. Number two, most common, is the afternoon slump. So the 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., feeling like, oh, I just need a nap or a snack or a something. That's a clear sign that something's not optimized in your nutrition. Yeah, you're calling yourself out over here. And then the very last one, which is always been my biggest one, is sugar cravings. I have a sweet tooth. I just recently actually did some genetic testing, and you can prove to yourself, if you didn't already know it, that you're more prone to have a sweet tooth, which I actually thought was kind of funny. But aside from just having a genetic predisposition, the sweet tooth, especially at night, is an indication that your body is not absorbing the nutrients that it needs. So if your brain doesn't get all the little antioxidants, phytonutrients, everything that it needs throughout the day, it's sending a signal: what's the quickest form of energy I can get? And that's sugar. And that's why you're craving sugar at night, because your body hasn't had the fuel it needed.
That's a really good point. Yeah, no, I'm guilty of all three, which is why I'm selfishly this conversation is mostly for me, but I think a ton of people are going to get a lot of value. So that's a really good thing. So on a similar note, one chapter that I really liked in your book, actually, if I can find the title of it, I'd love to hear kind of your thoughts. I feel like there was one on maybe they were on the myths maybe there was quite a few chapters on it. But can you talk a little bit about what myths, and you mentioned a little bit about sugar. So can you kind of riff on what some of the kind of the common myths of nutrition are, and how that may be harming people?
Yeah, I have tons of myths. I like to be a myth buster. So I'll name a couple and then you maybe tell me which ones you want me to dive into more. Most common myth I always hear is if people are concerned with losing weight or just being healthier, that they're scared they're going to have to eat less. So that is not true. I eat a giant volume of food. Of course, the food that I do eat is healthy, so I'm not saying that you can just go to town on McDonald's and eat 4 quarter pounders a day or whatever. But you don't have to eat less food to be healthy. That's number one. Number two is all the marketing claims. So if something says healthy, or even if it says gluten-free or high protein or something like that, that it's not actually healthy, and there are other things you need to do to investigate whether that's healthy or not. Myth three is kind of tied into sugar, which is that fat is bad. So a lot of times, I don't know, people who grew up 80s, 90s, maybe even people who were born into the early 2000s have been brainwashed to think that fat is bad, that fat-free is good, that anything containing fat is just not for us. And that leads us. I eat sugar too, right? I have dark chocolate in my drawer right here, but the amount of sugar that we consume is too much. So eating too much food was number one. I can't even remember what was number two. Oh, healthy claims and fat versus sugar. Are there any of those that you want me to dive into more?
Well, let me ask you maybe a different kind of a different question. In we here at Cutco, and in our jobs as managers and sales reps, we oftentimes are out of the house all day, and so I remember for me, one of my first times as an office manager, I would leave in the office in the morning at maybe. Are you losing me?
I lost you for a second, but I think you're back.
Okay, I can hear you. Am I back? Okay, great. I remember maybe the only thing I would eat throughout the whole day was a California burrito at maybe 11 o'clock at night, and I just remember it being the hardest thing to wake up the next morning. Um, so what would you feel, or maybe some habits or routines or rituals that someone who is going to be gone all day, that really needs some sustained energy for a 12, 14, maybe even sometimes 16-hour workday, how can they avoid some of those traps or those myths to make sure that they have energy for the whole day?
Yeah. So, although this sounds totally gross, I like to think of your analogy as a sink, right? So, you have a sink, it has a drain in there. And if you're giving it a steady state of water, it's just fine, right? It absorbs the water, it goes down, whatever. But then if you put a giant burrito or something like that on the sink, not only does it clog your sink up, but it just can't deal with all that. And your body can't even absorb the nutrition from your burrito if that's the only thing you eat, just one giant burrito during the day, and that's it. So your body was really deprived, which probably made you feel less energetic than you needed to feel. And to be very honest, leading to longer term health issues. So I'm glad that you're taking really good steps right now to clean that up. So tips to avoid that if you're living a really busy day. Honestly, the biggest thing you can do is preparation. I really believe in meal prep, and I know you're experimenting with this yourself right now. It doesn't have to be like you cook some crazy gourmet thing and it's in perfect little portion controlled, beautifully plated presentation, whatever. It just has to make it easy for you to incorporate eating healthily throughout your day. So if that means you go to something healthy pre-made and you buy 8 little Tupperwares of the same thing and you have them every single day, great. If that means for you, you chop up some vegetables and then at the end of the day, you just have to saute them in a skillet and add some protein in, great. If that means I make little veggie packs throughout or on Sunday so that I eat them throughout the day. And a veggie pack is basically just raw vegetables, but it helps me make absolutely consistent. There are also things you can do. Let's see if I have one right here. This is a little miracle cure for energy. This is Amazing Meal. I don't know if I'm supposed to promote a product on your webinar. I don't have anything to do with this product. You can get it on Amazon or at Whole Foods. But it's a green supplement, and you can just drink that throughout the day to give yourself a boost of energy if you're not going to eat anything. Most important, bringing back to what I said, is just preparing, just putting in that little bit of extra thought to make sure that you're eating throughout the day. And then also, why not set an alarm? This sounds crazy, but I know that as salespeople, you are flying between appointments and emails coming in and whatever. And if a little alarm dings at noon to tell you to drink your Amazing Meal or eat your veggie pack, maybe you're more likely to do it.
Totally. Yeah, I'm guilty of not eating and looking up and saying, "Wow, when was the last time I ate today?" So that's really great. You may have touched on this, but to ask it, I guess more bluntly, if someone is looking to get started and maybe they've never even considered eating healthier, they were the fast food kind of person that would stop off in between sales calls. Where's the best place to start, or what's the best I don't know, the best resource, or what would you suggest for someone who has who's really struggled maybe getting started with these things?
Yeah, the number one thing I would say is start slowly. So many people in my office, friends, whatever, have tried to start over and over and over and over again. Because when they start, they do everything perfectly. They eat a healthy breakfast and a healthy lunch and a healthy dinner, and they never go to McDonald's again, and they don't eat sweets, and they don't eat fried foods and all this stuff, and they start exercising on top of it. And that's just too much. You cannot sustain that if it's such a dramatic shift in your lifestyle over the long term. So week one, start with drinking more water. I think that's something that almost everyone can stand to do more of. And I like to keep little bottles on hand. So I know this one's 28 ounces. And I know how many times I need to refill that for my body. You can for yourself. I like to do your body weight in pounds divided by 2. So if you were 150 pounds, you would be drinking 75 ounces and then add 16 for every hour of exercise. And week one, just say, I'm going to drink 50 ounces of water per day, and check yourself off. I have in the free giveaway section of my book, which you can get if you purchase the book, or even the trick is if you go to Amazon, I'm going to try to hold it up. If you go to Amazon and look in the look here, you can also get the free downloads even if you don't purchase it, just for your audience. But let's see. If you go to startherebonus.com, you can get my little daily health tracker for absolutely free, and you can check off your habits that easily every single day. So start with water. Number 2, maybe go eating one vegetable per day. That's it. Just hold yourself accountable to one vegetable. Then maybe week 3, you go to trading in your donut for something healthier, for a hard-boiled egg or whatever it is. But really, really start small, because just like you would advise anyone else, you can't make a life change overnight. You can't make a health change overnight either. That's too drastic.
Wow, that's great. So one habit at a time. And one quick random question: what is your favorite health food, or maybe favorite health snack for someone who may be on the go? something that's not going to make them crash, or something that people could carry around in the car?
Yeah, good question. So I'm going to give you a few, because what I'm assuming you mean is something packaged, snacky that you can buy. I'm going to first give you the obvious answer, which is my favorite snack is fruits and vegetables. And yes, these are packaged and convenient. You can carry them with you in your car, right? I have these things with me right here. And you can just snack into an apple. With the apple, for example, I'm going to duck down and get these. I have these little packets of Barney butter, which you can buy on Amazon again. It's just almond butter that's in a little nice convenient squeeze pack. So you can just put it on your apple as you're driving if you're really desperate, but please be safe. Other things that are portable, vegetables, right? Like I mentioned, I have a packet of vegetables every single afternoon because I know all I have to do is grab my Ziploc baggie and run out the door. I'll do it. So that's the obvious answer, fruits and vegetables. Other things that I think are really great, a bar is nice, although a lot of bars have very artificial ingredients that I would advise people to stay away from. So look for bars with less names on the ingredient list. I'm going to see if I can hold up some for you. If your people are meat eaters, there are these bars called Epic or Tonka that are antibiotic free, no hormones, like jerky bars. I also like these ones called chia protein bars by Health Warrior. They have very clean ingredients as well. Kind bars, lots of people have heard of. Lara bars. There are plenty of options out there, but what you're really looking at is go to the ingredient list, and if it looks like chemical soup, stay away from that. If it looks like things you can name, that's great. The Lara bar that I eat is just cashew and only 2 ingredients, and I know what those things are, so I can eat that, right? Aside from bars, packets of nuts are great on the run, just little individual servings of trail mix or almonds or whatever. I also take packets of olives, which I know sounds really crazy. I'm going to show you these too. Here, these little guys, again, you can get them on Amazon. And if you have a vehicle, Hector, I'm happy to send links to some of this stuff out.
Sweet.
But olives are really, yeah, olives are really great snacks. Whatever it is, just choose something that's as close to real health food as possible, or real food as possible.
Cool. Megan, what if they wanted to find out more about you, or they wanted to get in touch with you, or they wanted to find your book? Can you tell them where they could find more about the Lion Share?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. So the book is at www.starthere2016.com. All the information, Amazon link, things like that. If you want to find out more about me, the best place is probably my website, which is thelionsshare.org. So it's LYONS, another SHARE.org. All my contact information is there. I'm on social media as well, and all the links are from the website.
Well, thank you so much again, Megan. I do appreciate your time. I know this is in a busy world, and you just got back from vacation, so I appreciate everything, and we will maybe do this again sometime.
Awesome. Thanks, Hector. Have a good day.